Okay, so we did that. Now, attorneys, teachers, politicians who are vegetarian, they want to protect the rights of animals in Iowa, right? And I looked on the internet at the library, and I found something very interesting. I didn't have enough time to really go into depth, but I know that they brought a case in the last couple of years. They wanted to enact, because they control the city. The city is theirs. It's called Vedic City or whatever. They wanted to enact what's called eminent domain. You know what that is?
Yeah.
When the government wants to take away your private property for the good of will of the community. Eminent domain is not usually practiced at the local level. It's usually practiced at the state or federal level.
Yeah.
But they wanted to practice it at the local level because there was a pig farmer who had a farm for pigs. Farmer John, right? Farmer John had a pig farm in this town called Vedic City, and they wanted it shut down. So they wanted to pass a law or whatever that you're not allowed to do any pig farming in that town, or any animal slaughtering or any of that, and they're going to take away his property, and the way they're going to do it in the courts is a thing called eminent domain. So you see where these people are at. These people don't want slaughter. This guy wasn't doing anything wrong, right?
Yeah, they don't want animal slaughter.
It's not that they're anti-Jewish, let's say.
No.
This guy wasn't. He was a pig slaughterer, right? So I'm assuming he was a goy. And it's not that they, they're not. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't hire illegal aliens or anything like that. His thing was he was a pig slaughterer, and they wanted him shut down. So we see that their teva, that their nature is that there is some sparks there. They don't like the idea of animals being killed. We talked about this last week. There's like a lot of people who consider animals like human beings, and you dumped a chick because she was okay with your beard, but like the dog stays in the bedroom.
Yeah.
There's like, no, the only one who does anything doggy style in here is this lady. Thank you very much.
Before I 12-stepped.
Now we don't even do that.
I don't even do that.
Okay, so you might as well keep the beard. What am I talking? What am I talking about?
You made your point.
Okay, so we're done with that.
So I wanted to say something. So Orthodox Jews aren't into slaughtering pigs. They're not into raising pigs. But you'll never find Orthodox Jews outside of Israel like lobbying the Gentile government to try to eliminate pig farming. You won't find Orthodox Jews lobbying the government to prevent, the production of non-kosher food. Like, Orthodox Jews basically just want to be left alone to live their way of life, and they don't try to impose through secular law their way of life on non-Jews. They just want to be left alone. So that's the traditional Jewish approach, is you don't make waves with the wider society, you don't try to impose Judaism on non-Jews. You just want to be left alone to live your way of life. It's like, keep your hands off us and off our kids, and we'll be fine.
Do you think that there's any Jews who are part of that transcendental meditation, whatever it's called?
Oh, I'm sure there are Jews who are part of it.
Do you think
Jews tend to be part of transcendental meditation groups.
And you think that they graduated from it and they joined the Iowa government, and they're the ones who are coming out so strong against Rubashkin?
I have no idea. I don't like to speculate.
Okay, I understand that. But we know what if one of our viewers had information about that?
Sure, I'm happy to look at any evidence that people have that explore why Rubashkin got shafted, because, let's be honest, if the average murderer serves about 12 years, Rubashkin got sentenced to 27, he got shafted for some ticky-tack white-collar crime.
There's guys who did much worse and who get less.
Yeah.
Like whatever it is, like the guys who violated the Wall Street stuff. Because he got essentially a life sentence, right? Rubashkin got a life sentence. But some of those guys are going to be out before they die. Right?
Yeah.
So and they stole billions. Right? So how do you compare, how does that make sense? But what I would say is, what we want to know is if anybody out there, let's say who lives in Iowa, who's familiar with this stuff,
has evidence on the Rubashkin agro-processors case, and I don't care which direction you go. Like, it's not like I'm, pro-Rubashkin, pro-agro-processors. I'm open to evidence from any perspective.
Right. But if you've got something that can connect, let's say, the attorneys or anybody in this case to that Vedic city, we want to know about it because it'd be very interesting to know about it. Because I don't think it's people talk about it. I did searches on this stuff on the Google. People aren't talking about that. And that would be something that would seem at the very least to show a motive. You know, to show where the mindset is of the prosecution and the judge on this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty clear that the community did not like Hasidic Jews. You know,
Is it that they didn't
presence.
like it?
If they were quiet and didn't make any waves, then maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But because they were loud and noisy and had a big meat slaughtering industry there and brought in a lot of uneducated Latino laborers, like the people who grew up in Iowa were not happy, and I can understand many of the reasons why they weren't happy. So it's not like I'm not, anything Chabadniks do, I'm just pro, or anything that Orthodox Jews do, I'm just pro. No, I mean, I understand why a lot of non-Jews were not happy with our agro processes, and I'm as happy to tell their story as I am to figure out why Rubashkin got such a long sentence.
Fair enough.
So this week's Torah portion,
Okay.
Parashat Bechukotai.
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 You know what? And I was waiting for you to say what this is special about this parsha. Because you always say it.
It's the last two chapters of Vayikra.
It's the last chapter. Well, the last Torah portion.
Torah portion.
We're finishing up Vayikra this week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Should we do a Shechianu at the end of?
No, I have to skip it.
Okay. So, Leviticus chapter 26, verse 2, is last week's parsha. Anyway, I think it's a good point because it's the very end of last week's parsha. It says to revere God's Sabbaths and God's sanctuary. So the Sabbath is the most sacred time in the Jewish calendar, and the sanctuary is the most sacred space in the world from the Jewish perspective. So Judaism believes in both sanctifying time, sanctifying space, sanctifying food, sanctifying speech, sanctifying sex.
I knew that was coming last. I knew that. I was just like, and what makes sex holy?
When it's performed within marriage in accordance with the laws of Judaism.
Right. And, okay.
I haven't had any fantasies about that, but I'm working on it.
I'd like to see that. You know, you're saying like, I've got all these problems at home. I see it just one problem. This is how I look at you. If you were married, all this crap you wouldn't care, right? And what's preventing you from getting married? In my mind, they're like, your beard is not helping, right? Your blog is not helping either. That's my personal opinion, right? And this attitude of it's got to be my way or the highway, I don't think is helping you either.
So I had someone today say I was very particular. I was kind of, wondering, is this true? Am I very particular? And so my friend said I didn't mean that your appeal's only to some weird niche. Says, I meant that you're a man of strong preferences in general. And I thought, me, a man of strong preferences? Am I kind of my way or the highway kind of guy?
Oh, yeah. You absolutely are.
According to my future roommate, Joey Kurtzman, I am.
Oh, Anna Hanami, I've said this 100 times to you.
I know.
This should be your, what's that, Frumster profile.
Yeah, my way or the highway.
That would be your name.
Yeah.
My name is My Way or the Highway. That's me.
because like everything's got to be about you and your way, and like you either I've given you opportunity, you join me in my way, or you walk, because I don't have time and I just don't give a shit enough to try to fix this, to work with you so that it's our way, because I'm not really interested to do that. I don't care. It's all about me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. Let's say that together.
It's all about me, 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 me.
That's all you care about. That's all you care about. Okay? And Joey hit it on the head. Boom! 10 points for Joey. Bam! Right? And I think that's gonna, I've said this to you before, I think that's holding you back with women.